This may actually be my last day as a doctor.
Next Thursday.
Please, just for today, sit still and shut up.
Okay.
Meredith's day in court is finally here.
Were you aware Dr. Gray had committed insurance fraud?
How far will they go
You flat out lied.
to protect one of their own?
These people have come from all over to speak for Meredith.
Sorry, Your Honor, I have something more to say.
An all-new Grays, next Thursday, 7 Central on ABC.
Hey guys, first off, my apologies on not being able to cover episode 5 and episode 6 of season 16. I really like those episodes, but I just lost track of time with being able to cover them. Now what I'm going to do from now on, so that we always have a Grey's Anatomy discussion at some point, if I can't watch on Thursday, I will get the video out by that Sunday. I want to have the discussion because I really like this season, I really like the show overall, and I want to make sure I have some content once a week. I do apologize for the infrequent schedule with the videos, but there will be a Grey's Anatomy video every week from now on as long as the episode airs. But I'm guessing we only have 2 episodes left. We have My Shot, and then we have the mid-season finale, I'm assuming, because season 15, their mid-season finale was episode 9, and I'm guessing season 16 is going to do the exact same thing. So let's talk about Papa Don't Preach, which I believe is an example of how classic Grey's Anatomy was written, and then we'll talk about the trailer for My Shot, which I thought was a fantastic trailer. So Papa Don't Preach is exceptionally sad, which blew my mind because it started out so happy, and then I realized, oh my god, this is how Grey's Anatomy is written. This is like how it was written, you know, from seasons 1 through 10. And I was like, this episode is so good. It's so happy. I love Sabrina. Then, oh my god, they killed her. Like, why? And it gets to show Kelly McCreary's, again, her extremely versatile acting skills because she's happy and excited, and then she's super upset. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. Poor Maggie. She's going to have to deal with these consequences for the rest of her life. Now, this episode had a fantastic setup. It was 2 stories with several characters having cameos. Teddy had a cameo. Jackson had a cameo. And that was really it for cameos. And Meredith had a cameo as well. There was no Karasik. There was no Link. There was no Glasses, which I honestly was okay with. I think the way that all episodes of Grey's Anatomy going forward is that we should have, you know, 2 main storylines with 2 to 3 doctors in each one, and then have the other doctors being cameos or just be absent, because it just allows for the episode to be centered and the audience to be focused on the 2 storylines that are going on. Even Alex was like a larger cameo because his role wasn't as big. I mean, the 2 storylines were Owen and Amelia and Maggie and Richard, with Alex being a support to Maggie and Richard's storyline. So let's talk about Amelia and Owen first, because I thought it was the lesser of the 2, but it was an intense storyline, and I really, really liked it. I don't think Owen's emotions were completely justified with his patient who wanted the abortion, because it's really not his right to make any comments about that. But I do get his feeling towards Amelia, particularly when he is getting mad at her about wanting a baby. But at the end, they were able to reconcile, and I'm glad that they were able to reconcile and that they're going to be this crazy family, and I really do like that. Katerina Scorstone, I love how she's nervous and excited about being telling Owen that she's pregnant. I like Owen's reaction. I felt it was very legitimate. I mean, Owen has been through a lot. He's in recovery for his PTSD, so I really just felt that storyline was very true to the characters. Again, I saw people going, "Why is Owen getting mad about Amelia being pregnant?" He's mad because their marriage fell apart because she lied to him, and then there was a whole break different thing. But he has every right to be married. That, she said, "Oh, I want this family and these kids," and all of a sudden, 2 minutes later, she wants nothing, and now she's having a baby with someone else. So I get his feelings, but he doesn't have the right to take out any of his feelings on that patient, which I thought was a little awkward. However, I think Kevin McKidd and Katerina Scorstone were able to hone the storyline in, and it was honestly super, super well written and super well done. And honestly, Owen's emotions are a little erratic nonetheless, so I overall enjoyed that. Then we can talk about Maggie, Alex, and Richard. Maggie's cousin, who is Richard's niece, came to town. She has a horrible, horrible cardiac tumor, and she needs surgery. And we get to dive into Richard's past, which I really liked. I liked learning more about Richard. We learned about him, I believe, in season 13 with his mother. It's when they were doing that. It's when they were doing surgery, and they had a John Doe, and we get like flashbacks to different characters dealing with traumatic events. So we have Richard talking about his mother having cancer. We have Meredith telling the kids that Derek is dead, and that's when we learn about Richard's mother. And now we get to learn about Richard's brother and that he has a sister. And, because of Richard's choice of being a doctor, his family kind of not looked down on him, but they felt he looked down upon them, which I thought was interesting. So, Maggie gets to bond with her cousin, and then the cousin doesn't want her to have surgery, or to have Maggie to perform surgery. And I thought, Maggie's the best surgeon out there. Why would they not want to have her do it? And then it adds insult to injury that poor Sabrina died. It was horrible. And then how Alex had to be like the support system for Maggie after Sabrina died. And overall, like, that storyline was just intense. It started out really happy, and then it was super sad. And I was like, you could have had a full-on relationship. There could have been so many more storylines. You could have had Richard's family be rebuilt, but no, they chose to kill her. And it honestly reminded me of when they had when they cut Henry from the show when Henry died, and it essentially led to Kim Raver leaving the show. Granted, she's back now, and she's down to cameo appearances, which I think is a complete waste of her talent. The only thing about this episode that I would critique it is, as much as I loved just to have those two A storylines, there was no B. And I think a B storyline is just helpful to, at least if you want to have something kind of fun go on, because these two storylines we had were pretty intense, and this way you can like level out the mood a bit. They could have had Meredith and Teddy have like a fun interaction of some sorts, and I really feel that a Meredith-Teddy relationship should be a thing. Now, what I also want to briefly talk about is I don't understand why they kept Jackson on the show if they were just going to break Jaggy up, because his cameo at the beginning where he was mean to her was horrible. Like, I don't understand like why make Jackson so nasty to her. Jackson, it just feels out of character. I mean, even when he broke up with April, he wasn't this nasty to her, so I don't get that. But overall, like, Maggie, what Kelly McKeary had to do in this episode, acting-wise, was great. Her range is so broad. What Amelia had to do in this episode, also really great. My favorite scene in this episode, however, had nothing to do with the actual storylines they were covering, but it was that sister scene. And I always love having a sister scene in every episode. I think it just grounds it in, because Amelia, Maggie, and Meredith, in my opinion, are the core now of Grey's Anatomy. I mean, I know that Bailey, Richard, Meredith, and Alex are the originals, but I feel that a lot of the audience hones in on Meredith, Maggie, or Amelia, just because I feel we're just able to connect them. And then the fact they live together, it's just, that's what you want to see. You want to see those three do something. So I'm hoping they do get a cool storyline at some point going forward. But overall, because the episode was so centered, it's just really easy to talk about. So I really loved the episode. I thought it was fun and sad, and I think it has massive repeat value, and it was very, very reminiscent of classic Grey's. So overall, I'm curious what you guys have to say about the episode. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Now, let's talk about my shot. So first off, I will read the episode description, and then we'll talk about the trailer. So, Meredith faces the medical board as her future as a doctor remains uncertain, and she's forced to reckon with her past in some challenging ways. Meanwhile, the interns are put to the test as they are each vying to be the most successful on their respective cases in the absence of some of the attendings. Okay, so the trailer is completely focused on Meredith's Meredith's trial coming up, or her hearing. And I'm actually really glad the trailer did not include anything with the interns, because first off, I don't care about the interns. I don't care about glasses. The only interns I cared about were Helm and Kadri, and they fired Kadri, and I feel that Helm is just getting pushed off to the side. So I don't think we need the interns. If anything, bring Kadri back and make her a main character, because I think there's a lot of potential with her, and that also adds even more representation to the show with an Islamic character or a Middle Eastern character. I think that Kadri is just a really cool character. There's a lot of background that we don't know about her, and I want to know more about her. Like, honestly, I don't get what made them want to pick glasses over her. And Helm is also an LGBT character as well, and there's just something about her that I think is more dynamic than glasses. Anyway, so that isn't in this episode. That'll probably be the B storyline and the boring storyline. But the whole description talked about Meredith's, future as a doctor remaining uncertain, which is exactly what the trailer discussed. And I have to tell you, it looks awesome. Meredith's, just starts face acting, talking about how this could be your final day as a doctor. I cannot wait to see what they get to do in court. Court scenes in Grey's Anatomy can either be really, really good or really, really bad. And the best court scene I can remember is when Callie and Arizona are fighting for custody of Sophia, and that was an intense episode. So I have a feeling this will be just as intense. I like how Richard and Alex are going to back her because, they're on her side. They want Meredith to not lose her license, to be able to go back to Grey Sloan and work, and to be able to do all these successful surgeries. So this episode honestly could have been the mid-season finale of the show. It's so powerful. And I love how Bailey goes in the trailer to Richard, you flat out lied. Because she thinks this is wrong. And this is the problem I think a lot of fans are having with Bailey at the moment, is she's done many actions on the show that have caused insurance fraud, that have been caused to have questions ethically. So I don't get why she's so against Meredith. She's called Meredith her baby. In many episodes of Grey's Anatomy, you see how well or how much these two women have such a strong friendship. So for Bailey to be completely adamant against Meredith, I think is completely wrong. She should be on her side. I get why, from a practical standpoint, she had to fire her, but she doesn't have to completely go against the grain. However, when you're under oath, you can't lie. So I do understand that, as well as I did go to law school. I completely understand why you cannot do that. But from a TV perspective, I don't think Bailey has to be the one to call Richard and say that he lied, and then he'll go to jail, because it's a pretty big crime. So the trailer also had a shot of Mayor Luca, which I liked. I liked how we get a little cameo of them. I'm curious how Luca will react to Meredith's trial. We see Teddy and Owen. I don't get why Teddy would be at the trial, only because Teddy hasn't been around enough to be some form of witness. Maybe she's just there for support for Owen. Like, if you have to do a character witness, you do Richard, you do Alex, you could do Owen. You wouldn't do Bailey, but Owen would definitely be on her side. Teddy, the friendship between Teddy and Meredith could be there. They could have established it all throughout season 15, but they didn't do it. Hopefully, she's not there as a defense, as a prosecution side, or the other side. And because it's not a criminal trial, it's technically not the prosecution. So overall, I really like the trailer. I'm excited to see what's going to happen. I think this episode is going to be intense because the trailer set it up to be intense, but it's just an intense storyline. We've been waiting to see what's going to be happening with Meredith and getting her license. We've seen how her react to the punishment of it. So will she have to give up being a doctor? I doubt it, because we have 17 coming up, so she's definitely going to get her license. But maybe she will be suspended for like a year, and all of season 16 will be her dealing with the ramifications of not being able to operate, and then 17 will be her going back into the OR. So overall, I love the trailer, I loved episode 7, and I'm really curious what you guys have to say about both. Thank you so much for watching my review of the trailer and the episode, and I'm looking forward to discussing episode 8 next week. Again, if I don't cover Thursday, the review will be up Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. There will be a review. So thank you guys so much, and we'll talk real soon. Bye.